the stories and not the headlines.
Because we believe that stories can change the world.
Get ready because the show starts now. Hey, welcome back to The Real History of Hollywood. I'm your host, Joy Thayer.
And I am Matthew Thayer, and we are back again for part 2.
Yeah, this is special edition Deep Cuts with Brent McCorkle. We're going to have a lot of fun. We did 2 different interviews. Well, we did one interview.
We did one interview, and we thought it was done.
With 2 portions of it,
Yeah.
Because one was just talking about the amazingness of Jesus Revolution.
And then some of the stuff that you guys have had experience on with I Can Only Imagine.
And this one goes into some of the more stuff that we're getting ready to do in the future. There's going to be some fun
was
projects.
a really kind of cool just hangout friend time.
Yeah.
But he was asking us about some of the projects that we're working on. But then also he was talking about his love of goats and animal husbandry and homesteading, and Joy, of course, is really big into that. Producer Alex said that this was his favorite part of the interview, and so we decided instead of just leaving this out that we would share it with all of y'all. So,
but you know what else?
What?
You know who else loved animal husbandry?
Who?
Jesus. Okay. He was the shepherd, and
he was
David.
And David.
David was the shepherd.
Yep.
And now we have a My Pillow.
It's upside down.
It's upside down. My Pillow. It's not quite animal husbandry because I think this is Daniel in the Lion's Den. Well,
it's kind of well, he was,
he was taming some lions.
Taming some lions.
And My Pillow has these little travel pillows for. Well, this one is for kids.
Yeah, it's cool.
A little My Pillow cover.
They've got Noah's Ark.
Is the travel pillow also has a cover? So if you go on a trip, your kid spills chocolate milk on it, you can take off the cover, you can wash it. You have your cute little My Pillow in here.
Yep.
But these are so wonderful. I steal the kids as My Pillows when we're on trips. We have an American flag pillow. We've got a couple of these ones. They have Bible verses on it. They're awesome. And right now, they're having the spring sale, 80% off over My Pillow.
And they've got Daniel and the Lion's Den, they got Noah's Ark, they got Creation, they've got a bunch of different little Bible scenes for kids. And so they're perfect. So if you have grandkids, or if you got kids and you want to give them a gift, and you want to help.
Or if you have a spouse that wants to sleep on the drive,
on Daniel and the Lion's Den. Get the word, osmosis, while you sleep.
That's what it is.
But anyway, go to SPEROPillow.com or go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code SPERO, SPERO. They're having a spring sale, 80% off right now. Yeah. Amazing stuff. So, but without further ado, we're going to get into part 2 of Brent McCorkle.
Guys, thank you so much for this. Before we jump, what are you guys doing?
What are we doing?
Give us a little something. What's on the horizon? Can you talk about it? It might be too top secret.
No, it's good. I'm working on building out a slate with Matt and presenting it to some investors. And we have something for every age group. So we've got a animated series. Matt illustrated some children's books for Danny and Sherry Silk. They do Loving on Purpose. And so we're going to be working with Todd Waterman and some people on that series. And I hope to be putting that one out on Angel Studios. And then
we're working on a short, like a low budget teen dystopian kind of.
We got a young adult project.
So that
family friendly comedy that's going to be on NBC Universal, and then we have a 60 episode project about our nation's history and foundings. That's going to be a lot of fun. So getting ready to present a bunch of stuff to some people that we're going to need a lot of funding for, as you know.
But I love your story about, just putting in the reps and putting in the hours. And just, you think it's hard in Dallas. I mean, Redding, California, we were up there and trying to find commercials to direct and, write and, casting people off the street and everything else just to kind of get those reps in. Definitely feel you there, man. Mad props.
Short films all over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Your story and our story is very, 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 very similar.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is I'm impressed by you guys because if you keep showing up, one day it'll just be right there in front of you. You're like, wow. And then everybody will be jealous, like, oh, they just hit. They didn't do it. They won't listen. I see the blood loss. I see the blood loss. You know, you guys are sweating out, bleeding out, tears. You know, like everything. But if you stay there, you show up every day. It's like you're waiting for the bus out in the desert. You know, but you make that long walk to the desert bus stop, and you wait for the bus every day. And so I applaud you guys, man. But like, it's gonna hit. You know, just don't give up. It's like a war of attrition, really. But
Yep.
yeah, man, that's so exciting. Well, you guys have so much stuff going. I really perked up on the dystopian and YA stuff. I love stuff like that. Like it's really weird. People don't understand. If you saw my shorts, like I did really weird genre, like sci-fi and fantasy and thriller.
Oh, nice.
And, you know, I love filmmaking. So yeah, that sounds really amazing. My wife has some Danny Silk books, and so I'll have to tell her you guys are doing stuff with him. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the only observation, I'm sure you guys are all over it, but one thing I kind of ingrained in the guys, and it's really important, but think about portals of entry from different generations into your story. So try to have an older character and a kid character and a teenager, and you know, like that's one thing I think the Jesus Revolution work is you had multiple
you guys did
generations.
such a great job.
Yeah. So even in your comedies and
we'd love to send it over to you.
I would be honored. I'd be honored once we actually get the script done. If you wouldn't mind being just giving a read and giving us any insights or notes, that would be awesome. Because that's one of the things that I've been thinking about. Is I actually just had that thought the other day of like, well, what about like a younger character or an older character? Wanting to make sure and bring that kind of stuff in. So that's kind of confirming that you're mentioning that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want it to play wide, you have to have a wide, like, array or variety of character web.
Yeah.
Because I learned this years ago from my mom, and it blew my mind. The light will immediately come on for you guys. But I made a movie, and my mom really liked it. And she's late 70s now. This movie was like 10 years ago. She was in the late 60s. And I said, okay, so you liked the movie? She goes, yeah, I really liked it. It really moved me. I said, well, who is your favorite character? She goes, I like the grandma. And I was like, oh, word. She immediately attached to the character that she resonated with in her real life. And I was like, whoa, okay, I need to think about this. But that was an illumination moment for me as a filmmaker. It was like, you're going to ride along with the person that you feel most comfortable with and probably feel most allied with, or like you have most in common with. And so yeah, just something to think about, for our stories going forward for sure. But I think we paid a lot of attention to that on Jesus Revolution. And I think it paid off for sure. Well, that's exciting, guys. Angel, I mean, I don't know any of those guys over there, but like every time
so great.
Get on Facebook or Instagram, yeah, it's just Angel everywhere. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we got a couple projects that we're trying to do the whole torch thing for over there and see if we can't get that off the ground. Like you said, I mean, it's really hitting hitting a nerve with some people, and they're doing some quality work. So
yeah. So I'll share some pitch decks with you.
Yeah, please do. So like with Angel, or like Wing Feather, whatever. I haven't really debriefed with Chris. Like, we'll just do a quick plug for Angel before we get off.
Yeah.
No, but so do they basically present, now they've got a huge subscription base or whatever. So like, let's say you guys form your thing, they present it, and then is it just sitting there and you hope that enough people jump into that to crowdfund it? Is that how that works?
It's like a 3-tiered process. Mm-hmm. So you initially submit
what's called
a torch. So there's a short project basically. So either if it's an animation, it'll be a pencil animatic kind of deal, or if it's a series or a film, it'll be kind of a short. So it's typically about 15 to 20 minutes, basically painting the picture of what the series is going to be. And so you submit that, and then they have like a board. Well, they have a board that kind of makes sure that it's not gross or violating or anything like that, right? And so then they go like, okay, yeah, we'll send this out to the guild, and that's step 2. And the guild is like 70,000 people or so that have done.
They've invested.
They've invested or large contributions into projects, and so it's kind of like a guild. And then they vote on it, and they say like, oh, okay,
they give feedback.
They vote on and give feedback, and then if enough people say yes, I don't want to live in a world where this doesn't exist, then
it gets
Angel greenlights it, and then they come in as the marketing and distribution arm with their full force behind the crowdfunding.
So with the animated series, we've kind of done a preliminary round one. We said we have this project that we've pitched to other studios, and it's got a nuclear family. It's based on Danny and Sherry Silk's family stories that they've used, where Danny has preached about this. Like I said, Matt has illustrated 3 of their children's books and some of their other stuff that they've worked on. And so we already have the concepts. We have all of this. We have comic strips, everything. So we shared that with the president and CEO and a couple other people, and they said, we love Danny and Sherry's stuff. They already have a built-in audience for one. We love the artwork. Our audience would absolutely love this. When can you get us an animatic put together? So Daryl put us in contact with Todd Waterman, who has worked on tons of stuff, American Tail, Veggie Tales, just a bunch of different things. We have a great writer, Corey Edwards, who did Hoodwinked. Lee Allen Baker is going to be the voice of Sherry. So we've got some pieces and components to put together. So then you have to get your first round of money for that, which isn't a whole lot of money in comparison to doing stuff. You have to have that all put together, and then you send that over. So we've just submitted the pitch so far to Angel Studios.
Just to kind of get an idea. Is this something that they think would work? Yeah.
And then, and so what you do is now you create this, and then they run it through their process in the guild, and then they say yes or no, or they give you some feedback. Yes, with these conditions or whatever. And then they start the crowdfunding, and you put together the budget, you put together, this one's going to be series. It is a family friendly thing. So it's going to have a broad audience because there's going to be stuff in there for adults, but the target audience would be, 5 to 7 years old, but there's going to be 12-year-olds that are going to enjoy it. And there's going to be older children, and everybody's going to have a great fun time. You're going to be able to watch it on Angel Studios. And then because you get to do a non-exclusive with them, then you're able to put it out on other platforms as well.
Wow. When you guys say the guild, it makes me think of the Lord of the Rings scene, like where they put the ring on the tree stump and they're just staring at it. Like I just imagine these like mythical like characters just like looking at your short, like, yes. No, that's incredible. That's incredible, man. I think it's amazing. I mean, Angel, I don't know those guys or much about them, but they are the greatest disruptors in the Christian entertainment space I've ever seen. It's mind blowing what they're doing, but it's really cool because this business 101, there's a huge deficit of this type of content that people would really pay and invest in. And I mean, The Chosen has proven that. Wing Feather, I'm sure of other stuff that they're working on that I don't know. So that's really exciting, guys. Man, I just hope that I just hope that takes off and blows up. But I need to get to know those guys and know more about what they're doing. But
I'm happy to connect you. They're amazing, and this is really, they want to bring Christian content at the highest level, like you're talking about, to the broadest audience possible.
The Tuttle Twins. The Tuttle Twins. I don't know if you've ever seen the Tuttle Twins, but they're like, you wouldn't even know it was a Christian show. It's just it's talking about economics. It's talking about kind of free market economics and Austrian economics, but taking it and putting it into kids. Fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's like the grandma's got a time traveling scooter, and the kids jump on and they go back in time and they talk to like Benjamin Franklin and all these old characters, and it's really fun and zany, and it feels like something that comes off of like the Cartoon Network. Mm-hmm. It's a really fun show, and kids just love. Our kids just absolutely cannot wait for the next one to come out. They're just like, oh my gosh, it's coming out tomorrow. Ah.
And they have everything right now where they're developing more one-off films like you're talking about to, episodic things that we'll also be working on. So the animation series ourselves we are more on the executive producer side. And then we have a team that will be working on that. Mm-hmm. And then Matt will be directing he'll be the showrunner on a series that's a actual long form
working on that one with Brad Cummings. He was the producer of the Shack movie, and he also was a co-author on the book, but he also worked on the Founder's Bible with David Barton, which is basically like a history book and the Bible kind of smushed together, talking about how our founding fathers were so inspired by the passages of Scripture, and where some of our tenets and laws and principles come from in relationship to the Scripture. And so we're working on a series.
Some of that world.
We're working on a series of that world. So
that's awesome. I worked with Corey Edwards on one of the VeggieTales episodes I did with Mike Naraki. He was the writer on it.
That's awesome.
He's very talented, funny guy. Very, very clever writer. I really enjoyed it. It was probably my favorite script out of all the ones that I worked on.
Which one was that? Which episode was it?
It was their space sci-fi spoof. It was called Veggies in Space.
Yes.
And it homages like every major film sci-fi space franchise of all time. And so yeah, it was a great little script, and probably my favorite one that I ever worked on. So yeah, he's talented, man. That's cool. I'm glad you guys got him. That's amazing.
Thanks. We're gonna have a good hangout with him and the team next Thursday, so it's gonna be really good.
Yep.
All right, my final question for you guys today is that real popcorn behind you? Is that real popcorn?
No,
actually.
That's a great question. You're the first one to ask. We were going to do real popcorn. It is a real popcorn machine. My dad had bought this for me, and we have used this for kids, school fundraiser events. We have used this for movie nights, all kinds of stuff. But because I didn't want to wash it out all the time, this is paper towels back here, and it is silicone popcorn in the front.
Okay, I'm so glad I asked that. This is incredible. Okay, great. So it's like a legit movie set, like you have the synthetic things, and it's amazing. I love it.
There are real film rolls on the back, and that's a real old time camera that was back here.
Old 16 millimeter there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Where'd you get the film reel from?
My mom got those from a theater that turned into a church up in Oregon. And so we collect these kinds of things. We collect books from old bookstores, and we read a lot, and we collect movie memorabilia. So we've got, the time machine here from Back to the Future. We've got all kinds of stuff. Matt is a massive Lord of the Rings fan, so we have Lord of the Rings board games that you can't see. And he's got a Lord of the Rings tattoo you can't see right now. Yeah, so we've got a little of our nation's history. We got the Constitution back here somewhere, and we've got awards, and we just got all of this homage to who we are. My mom and dad went by. So much. My parents went by Fred and Wilma when I was growing up, so I've got the cookie jar from them. So this is from my parents.
That should just sit there for the next interview.
There you go.
Just leave it. A little smoochy
just leave
smooch.
it right there. That's so amazing. No, that's so cool. That's amazing, guys. Yeah. Well, John and Andy, they distributed their first movie as an indie, and it was still film projectors at the time. So they're in their basement. They had stacks and stacks of real 35 millimeter prints that had circulated around to all the movie theaters, and then they inherited them back because they self-distributed, so
wow.
So yeah, they had tons of 35 down in their basement. I don't know what happened to that, but yeah, it's like giant reels. It actually looks like that. I wondered if you actually got that from John and Andy, because it looks just like those reels.
No.
Not this one.
Not that one. No.
I'll have to get one from them though at some point.
Yeah, I don't even know where they're at. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to ask John. I mean, that was back when we were in Birmingham, so I'll have to ask those guys what they did with their reels. But
our producer loves your analog gear back there.
Oh yeah, he was in music production up in Nashville for a long time. So Alex is back here admiring your room.
Yeah, man. It was about 10 years ago. I got back into analog. I dropped back into analog actually for John and Andy. I did I did the Steve McQueen score, mostly analog, and then I use a lot of analog gear for a ton of analog gear for the I Can Only Imagine score. It had kind of a retro feel. And then I just kind of stayed with it. So yeah, I've got I did my first reel-to-reel stuff on Jesus Revolution.
Wow.
So it's called reamping, but today it's all going to go digital. But I sent stuff to the tape machine to get that tape sound, and then brought it back in. So it was a really cool musical journey in this last one. So yeah, thanks for saying so, man. I appreciate that. I love my gear. It's a passion of mine for sure. And it's like paint that you buy, when you're I'm not a painter, but it feels like that when you're doing music. Feels like you're painting, and these are your like your paints, I guess.
Well,
so.
And that analogy you brought up earlier with the cast, I thought was also interesting. It's very similar to that. It reminded me of Francis Ford Coppola calling Pacino his yellow color. It was like, I have to get Pacino. Have you seen The Offer on Paramount Plus?
I have not seen it, but I heard it was incredible.
Oh, dude,
so good.
we're like in the middle of it, and it's just like all we can talk about. Like, you totally need to watch it. It's so great, especially as filmmakers. Like, you watch it and you're just like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, man. No, I mean it's strange. Film is crazy, but it's definitely like a modern vibe of very old styles of art. So editing feels like sculpture. Composing feels like painting. Working with actors oftentimes feels like poetry. I don't know. It's very odd, but it's like there are these old school analogs that you bring to the modern, bring modern storytelling construct.
I love that.
And so, yeah, man, I do too. I love it all. I wish I could paint. My daughter can draw, but I cannot. I'm terrible. So. I'll stick to my music gear.
Yeah, stay in your lane, right? Yeah.
What's up next for you?
Yeah, what's up next for you?
I think I would like to do another title with Kingdom and Lionsgate. I mean, I would not be here talking to you guys without them. And they took a chance on me. And, I had done a movie 10 years ago, but I hadn't directed in 10 years. It's similar to you guys. It's been kind of out in the desert, a lot of it, and taking other assignments, just working for a living, and so the 10 years, a lot of it's been in the wilderness for sure. But in all of that, John and Andy kept calling me, like, again, this is like my 7th thing to do with them. And so yeah, man, I feel like Kingdom and Lionsgate took me to the prom. And so I'm going to do some more dances, with them.
Well, if you want to do a little side project, you can, come work with Matt and I on a young adult sci-fi dystopian film.
Send me that script, man. Like, sometimes they don't know what to do with me because they know the stuff that I love. And they're like, do you really want to be working with us right now? So, but yeah, no, I love that. I took a writing assignment just to pay the bills. And I'm actually very excited about it, but it's dystopian. It's dystopian. It's like a weird futuristic dystopian thing that I'm working on. And I love that stuff. I live for that. My brain naturally goes to those places. But I do love dramas too, man. I love stuff that just hits you in the feels, that just makes you feel something and feel alive or have joy or just be moved. I mean, like, I love the emotional furnace of drama. And it, like, and even if you're working in genre, you should never neglect that. There should always be that emotional core.
Absolutely.
Thing. No, but yeah, send that to me. I would love to read it. And Nick will probably kill me, but we at Kingdom Story Company, we have the best coverage department in Christian entertainment. And like, they're not broadcasting or like that, but I mean, if you guys ever need anything covered, let me know.
Okay.
Because
awesome.
we have the feedback is amazing. It's very brutal, but it's like real Hollywood coverage.
We
over
love
here.
brutal. I love
brutal is
good. I do too. I do too, man. I do too. It's like I turned in a really strong script. Everybody knew it was strong, and it was still like approved with changes, So they definitely will let you know, if there's any improvements to be had. But no, I mean, if you guys need a coverage department, they're amazing, and but yeah, send me stuff. I'd love to see it. But yeah, so for me right now, I'm doing this writing assignment for the next 4 to 6 months, and then I will probably decide what I'm doing. But I really do hope to do my next thing with Kingdom and Lionsgate again. I can't brag enough on Lionsgate. They were an extremely supportive group of people around this title, and it was pretty amazing to be with them on this. And obviously Kingdom, I've been doing stuff with them for a decade now, and they're great. So
yeah.
And thanks for asking. And it's exciting to hear all the stuff you guys are doing too, man. Like, that's amazing.
Thanks for asking.
I'm going to tell my wife that you guys are working with Danny. She's going to have a mini freak out because she really loves his stuff.
Did you know that I brought him to I Can Only Imagine? I brought him on set. Yeah. So Daryl was like, hey, we're bringing pastors out. Is there anybody that you want to bring on set and everything? And I said, well, Danny and Sherry we've been a part of their team for a very long time. And they're our spiritual covering. And I'd love to bring Danny out here. And he said, okay. So I bring Danny out to set. It's like 4 degrees outside. We have Studio Village out in a tent. And this is the scene where Dennis Quaid is going to take Brody, and he's going to, act like he's beating the snot out of him. So you have the scene downstairs, and you've got them going upstairs. And so Danny's on set, and he says, if you ever bring me on a film again, you better take me to Hawaii. Because seriously, it was so cold. We couldn't even walk. And so we're coming over, and we watch the scene, and we're all in there, and Dennis grabs Brody, and he goes to throw him down. He's got the belt, the whole thing, and everybody is in there going, should we stop him? It looks like he's really going to beat him up, And all of a sudden, he throws him, and then they laugh, and they have so much fun. And we're over there like, whoo! Like, okay. And so that was, Danny came, prayed for the whole crew, all that kind of stuff. Froze his rear end off.
And then I don't know.
So if you have a film in Hawaii, we can take Danny and your wife and everybody over there.
But I don't know if your wife has, does she have the children's books? Danny and Sherry's children's books?
She does not. She wants to be a life coach, a relational coach.
Oh, okay.
She really wants to focus on just communicative skills, with young couples especially. So didn't he write a book called something like Keep Your Love On or something like that?
Yeah.
Keep Your Love On.
Yeah, that was inspired by Sherry. And so there was this whole teaching that she did called Insert Love Here. And so, and then they did Keep Your Love On. And then that has actually gone to not only for families, it's gone into business education and all that kind of stuff, and being a good boss and how you can do that. But he's got a ton of great resources for everything. So I'd love to connect your wife with them. They are phenomenal. I cannot champion Danny and Sherry enough. This is who they are all the time. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, the kid that came up to me and said, your movie's going to be a blessing to Hollywood, that was a Reading thing, so there's so much love coming out of that culture. And it blows me away. I had the greatest screenings of my career with Jesus Rev up in Reading. And there's just such a loving culture. And it doesn't surprise me that those books are love forward. But it's what we've got to get back to, in the Christian family. We got to get back to it. And so yeah, man, it's exciting. I love those guys up there. They're very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Those are my people, my home. I was born right outside of Reading in a little town called Weaverville. And my parents became missionaries and helped start the YWAM base on Maui. And that was the arts and entertainment base. So I became in love with Jesus and filmmaking when I was 5 years and years ago. And then we always ended up back over in Reading. And so that's my inheritance.
Yes. I could talk with you guys for 2 more hours because I have time for YWAM. The most important thing I've ever shot in my entire career, probably for my lifetime, was for a YWAM missionary who raises money for orphanages in India.
Oh,
and we shot a video that raised $250,000 that went straight to orphanages in India.
Wow.
And And I still think that's probably my greatest contribution to the world. Like
Wow.
as far as anything I've ever done as a filmmaker, and that was done with some YWAMers. So I was I shot a couple mini documentaries for the YWAM base in Tyler. They took me to Mexico, and I was embedded with a medical team that went to Peru, and we were like out in the rainforest. I mean, it was wild, man. It was so wild. But yeah, dude, I have a soft spot in my heart for YWAM because they're out there trying to make a difference. You know, it's cool.
Well, we'll have to have you come back on, then, and we'll share some more projects and updates, and keep everybody looking forward to the future film projects that are going to be coming out.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. On the next one, let's flip it. I'll just interview you guys. That'll be just as fascinating.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. So I would love to do that. I'll have like I'll have a set of what's really fun in the new podcast is they'll do like rapid fire questions just to try to embarrass you. You know, I don't even up, but yeah, like I usually crash and burn on those. So I'll try to have some really good rapid fire questions ready to go for you guys. You know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Alex says that he's in to help you with some of that. So, we'll put you in touch with producer Alex back here, and you guys can gang up on us.
No, you're right, man. The greatest version of that would be somebody that knows like your dirt. You know.
Uh-oh.
Could really like could really like fake you, you know. That would be so funny. Oh man, that would be so funny. Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, guys. And I really do think it feels like a very bright, hopeful, encouraging time for people that want to do inspirational family, faith adjacent content. And it's fun to be a part of this wave right now. And from the bottom of our hearts, even John and Andy, Kevin, man, like the more the merrier. Like we hope that everything we do opens up more opportunities for everybody, not just us. So I really think that might be happening. So
that's awesome, man.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. It was fun. We'll do it again.
All right.
Yeah. Sounds good. Can't wait to see you.
Send me that. Send me that dystopian.
We're
thing.
going for sure. We will. And then next time we're in Nashville visiting Daryl, we'll make sure that we get the kids together. That would be fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys should come get a farm tour. Luckily we didn't sidetrack on the podcast for this, but like I'm a homesteader. I have goats and chickens. I'm a beekeeper, and so I love all that stuff.
That'll be a whole other can. We'll just come up there and do a show about homesteading.
It was so funny. It was so funny. I did a radio show last week, and this guy hijacked me. So it was a live show, and it would go to commercial, and he would hijack me in between every break, and he'd be like, "All right, so we just got 3 Nigerian dwarfs, and they're eating the bark off the trees. Do you have any suggestions?" And so like I was like sharing all my goat husbandry tricks with him. You know, that we learned.
Awesome.
It was so great because he read on my bio that I have goats, and anyway, it was really funny. So yeah, no, I'll talk your ears off about this stuff. Yeah, we just were up with the bees yesterday, and I love our farm. It's really cool.
I haven't done bees before. We're getting ready to do bees, so you'll have to.
Okay.
We'll have to have that conversation.
Well,
I need to know.
We would have to move to another house with more property for you to be able to do that. She wants chickens and bees. So
if you find a farm in Franklin that's available. That has chickens and bees. I love chickens. I've done chickens my whole life. I think chickens are one of my favorite. I'm not a big fan of goats, and I don't like doing pigs. I like bacon, but I don't want to be the one raising the bacon. I'll do cows. I've done cows for many years.
Okay.
Yeah. And Matt will watch me because he thinks it's funny.
You said you will do cows?
Oh, well, yeah. I used to have cows. We used to have, when I lived in a little town called Hayfork, which is where I actually grew up.
Which is as small as it sounds.
Yeah, we had about 2,000 people. Had 100 acres. We had 42 cows, 17 horses, 3 mules. We did backpacking up into the mountains, and we would take people from the city out to go hunting. And so that's what the mules were for, is we'd pack them out there, and then we would put our cows out to pasture during the summer, and then we bring them in at the fall. And I had rabbits. I had my garden. My front yard was an acre big, and I had different herbs around the garden or around my front yard, and I'd sell it to a local co-op that sold it to Nature's Made. And that's what I did when I was a teenager raising 2 kids.
That's incredible. Dude,
And then I
that
went to school for filmmaking. So
yeah, man, dude, you've lived 5 lifetimes. Yeah, well, you probably have a different experience with it. You know, like for me, it's like I don't know. The older I get, it's like it's cool to have like a counterpoint distraction away from the films.
Yeah.
Something pulls you out into nature. So messing with the garden and just watching stuff grow and
I love it.
working with it. Yeah, but Kim, my wife grew up with chickens. She's really good with them. It's cool. Like we'll get comments from some of the old timers here, like, "How y'all get them eggs tasting so good?" So that's pretty great. But Kim has it down to a science, like how she does the shell and she boosts. She like gives them oysters and all this weird stuff that learned over the years, and so yeah, it's cool. But yeah,
And
the bees are my thing.
I do after we ate the eggs, I make everybody rinse out the eggs and dry them. Don't you throw those eggshells away. And so we have to, rinse out the eggshells because then I dehydrate them. And then I use the eggshells back in the garden around the tomatoes.
That is so cool. Yeah, we compost all our eggshells, and same exact thing. Like we fuss at people if there's a banana peel in the trash or an eggshell. Like, hey,
that's
that goes
cool.
in compost, guys. And they're like, oh, sorry. Like
that's potassium you're throwing away right there.
Yeah. The kids are like Matt. The kids are like they're like observers, and all this. Like, okay, whatever.
This is so good.
No, it's great. Yeah, it's great. So now I have raised beds that we just did, and we have a really big fenced-in area that we did for any of our garden stuff, and we ultimately want to have like a berry patch, and year before last we had like a crazy sweet potato harvest, and we like put them. We don't have a root cellar, so we put them in we have a hay loft, and we put them in a hay loft and just put like I think like blankets over them or whatever, and they kept through the winter, and it's a blast, man. It's a lot of time. That's the only problem. Like if I learned this about myself working on Jesus Revolution, because as you guys know, like when you get into the thick of a movie, it's all consuming. And so I watched the farm kind of fall apart when I was working on the movie. So I think ultimately for us, what I really love to do is get like a what is it called? Is it 4F or 4A or what?
Like the 4H or FFA.
4H.
Yeah,
4-H. I would love to get a 4-H girl, like an inner city girl that just wants to be around animals, and hire her for like 20 hours a week, because we need some consistency here when I'm on a project. I got
a film to do. Take care of the goats.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like edit the movie. Don't forget to feed the animals. It's like, but it's nice. It's nice to have some choice. Like, I'm getting ready to get in this writing assignment. I'm going to get in a rhythm with my wife to like do chores, and they'll just be a nice thing that pulls you out into the outside world,
It does. Yep, that's what I'll
Why don't you like goats though? Why don't we? I hate that we have to end on this, but why do you not like goats?
Out of all of that, it's like he pulls out like you goat hater.
Okay, so I helped somebody raise their sheep years ago for 4-H, and I love the sheep. And we actually played tag, and it was so wonderful. And I would go to feed their sheep while they were doing other stuff, and it'd like headbutt me and everything. But goats, I think, will eat everything. Everything. Mm-hmm. The thing I love about goats is they will eat poison oak, and I'm allergic to poison oak. So we would pin out the goats and they would eat the poison oak. But then when I had Sawyer, I didn't know if he was lactose intolerant or anything. So I was breastfeeding for 2 years. I drank so much goat milk and goat cheese because I wouldn't do dairy. It smelled really bad. And so then it was like, oh, well, it's gotta be what the goats eat. And so, the goats around where we were at were eating poison oak because that was what they were supposed to do. And the goats smelled really bad. Little baby goats are the cutest things you've ever seen. And so I just had this like relationship with goats and goat milk and all of these different things. I was like, nah, goats are out. I don't want to do goats. And so I didn't want to raise goats, but I would if somebody had goats and I had property and you just needed somebody like something to eat the brush down. Go get a goat. It'll eat anything. It'll eat thistle. It'll eat all kinds of stuff.
It sounds like she's just dealing with some pent up trauma.
A little pent up trauma.
Yes. No, that's absolutely right. No, you're exactly right. No, yeah, you have some bad, memories associated with that. That's wild. That is wild. No, it makes sense, right? So if you weather this is really gross. This will probably get edited out. This will get edited out. But if you have your goats fixed, they don't smell as bad because they pee freely over everything and even themselves, and that's what gives them that terrible smell. So if you weather them or you get them fixed, they don't do that. So that's good. So yeah, all of our males are wethers, and there are glorified lawnmowers, as you say.
They are.
So they go out in the back pasture and they keep the stuff kind of clipped down. It's beautiful because what goats will do is they love fresh leaves and like foliage on trees. So they'll stand on their back legs and they'll bite everything they can. So it looks like landscapers have been back there perfectly manicured all the trees, So yeah, it's pretty fun. But no, seriously.
So you're talking two different things, right? So if you're talking like, I'm going to keep some goats for goat's milk, you want to make sure that they're eating the proper thing. So your goat milk and your goat cheese and all that kind of stuff tastes good. And that's one kind of raising goats. And then the other is like, let's keep the foliage down and let's do all that kind of stuff. Another reason to raise goats. And so I never married the two reasons to have goats. It was like, yeah. So I did cows.
No. Yeah, no, I got you, man. My wife wants is it called a Scottish Highlander? Have you seen those things? A Highland cow?
No.
Oh,
can there be only one or what?
No, there's right. There can only be, and they kill each other, survive for the top spot. No,
lightning is involved at some point.
Do what?
Lightning is involved at some point. It's like. Yes. No, they're these fluffy little cows. They're small and they look like a Muppet, and they have like the bushy, like old hair over their eyes. And Kim wants one so bad. So we'll have to see. But no, when you're talking about
that's for artwork, though. That's for your daughter to paint.
Say again.
That's for those are ones we see like in Hobby Lobby in the paintings and stuff. Is those ones with because it's like really cute and they've got the flowers around their heads and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, they are like blowing up right now in the U.S. because they're not indigenous to North America, so they're coming in and more people are breeding them, and those are cool. But you were talking about your Sherpa stuff with your mules. Like we would love at some point to get a couple llamas.
Yeah. They spit
because they do. My wife has firsthand knowledge and accounting of that. So yeah, but man, we would love to have a little menagerie of animals out here for kids to come see and stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys come through Franklin, definitely come visit the farm. I'll throw you in a bee suit and you can mess with the bees. I love when you get into the bee community, you'll find out like everybody loves to like chat bees and education and just give you all the knowledge. Like you'll love that community. It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah.
Well, Matt just observes me. Fun. I'm his fodder. So.
All right. Well, it was good to see you, man. Good to meet you, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
Yeah, let me really quick here. Let me Joy, do you have my number?
I do.
You have my number?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you just text me like both you guys' info and just I think I probably have you in my phone too. I just want to make sure. I just don't want to lose contact. But yeah, I'm not blowing smoke. Like send me that script and I'll read it when it's ready. So
okay.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. We're looking at probably the next 3 or 4 weeks. We'll have some sort of draft, and then we'll be giving notes back and stuff like that. But yeah,
that will be perfect because that's when I'm slowing down a little bit. So that'll be perfect.
It was cool. It was originated by a 13, 14-year-old pre-COVID. It's pretty cool. So
Okay, dude, that's cool. I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'll send you over a few things that if you want to look at it. Look at it. If you're too busy, don't worry about it. But we always love feedback and input and collaboration and all that.
Yeah, well, in about a month, it's gonna be better for me.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, guys, it was fun.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
All right. So our bed is here. We're excited about this. We've been waiting for a couple of months. So our backs hopefully are going to love this. It does come with instructions. So place the mattress on your foundation, platform, bed, or other supported surface. And then cut the bag open with the scissors. Step back and watch your mattress begin to unroll.
Yeah.
So good.
I love it.
And we're going to let you know what we think in the morning.
Fresh my pillows, fresh bed.
How did you sleep?
That was the best night's sleep I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was definitely,
Amazing.
the best mattress I've ever had. Mm-hmm.
We should do it again tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Coffee's not bad either.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.